Hello, client participants. I just wanted to first say I am incredibly inspired by your stories. I'm so grateful that you all have chosen to do this climb journey with us and take this challenge for your 90 days. And I just absolutely know that our viewers are also being inspired by you and your stories and your challenges and your successes and everything that you're doing. So I'm so grateful for you, and I know that you are helping so many other women through expressing and telling your story in this journey. So first I want to say thank you so much for doing what you're doing, because I know that you're inspiring others. Today we're going to talk about stepping outside of your comfort zone, and in the climb series, stepping outside of your comfort zone and on to the pole. And through these past weeks, everything that we've done up to this point has required you to step outside your comfort zone. And so now this is just kind of our topic of the day, so we can kind of start focusing on what that looks like and how stepping outside of our comfort zone and onto the pole is such a challenge for us, both daily, monthly, weekly, yearly. Every day is a challenge when we decide to step out of our comfort zone. So let's talk about stepping out of your comfort zone. So first things first, let's identify areas of your life or things that you want to accomplish that are just outside the comfort zone. And these are probably items, things, desires that you have that for whatever reason, you see them as outside of your comfort zone and not internally like what you're comfortable with. So let's just start with identifying or becoming aware of those things that you want to do that are just outside of your comfort zone. So that is step number one, identifying those items that you want to do, but for whatever reason, you believe they're outside of your comfort zone. And they may, if you do those things, it's going to cause you some sort of discomfort or disappointment or maybe failure if you do those things. So let's start there, identifying those items or those things that you want to do that are just outside your comfort zone. Some examples of things that might be listed on your comfort zone, to become aware of things that you want to achieve that are just outside your comfort zone. Maybe samples like dating, finding a new job, public speaking, just going up to strangers, meeting new people. So these are all items that are samples or examples, I guess, of things that could be listed on your comfort zone challenges. And so next we need to become, since we're aware now of these items or these things that we want to change or overcome, then let's be clear on what you are aiming to overcome. So for instance, you're gonna take that list and you're gonna go a little deeper, and you're gonna try to figure out what primary emotion that you have to overcome, which is oftentimes fear, that you want to overcome to achieve that's outside your comfort zone. So for example, if you want to meet new people, say for instance, you're afraid of walking up to people and introducing yourself in social situations. So that's a fear, but that's your goal is to become more social, to connect with new people, okay? So you have to backtrack and you have to figure out what you're uncomfortable with in that journey of becoming more social and introducing yourself to new people. So for instance, maybe you're afraid, you don't like the sound of your voice, or you're insecure about the way you look, or you think you might be ignored, or you won't be accepted, or you're not enough to be placed into that group, that they're way above where you are, or whatever those reasonings are. You have to take a look at what that primary emotion is and why, or what makes you uncomfortable with stepping outside your comfort zone. And this is all very natural, very normal. We're all humans, so we're all afraid to step outside of our comfort zone. We like the warmth of our comfort zone where we're comfortable, but if we stay where we're comfortable, we're never gonna grow. So you have to get uncomfortable with being uncomfortable in order to step outside that comfort zone. So take a look. First and foremost, write down what some of those things that you want to do that you would think are worth doing that just outside your comfort zone. And then step 2 is to become clear on what needs to change or what that uncomfortable feeling is and why you're not stepping outside that comfort zone. So get deep with that and figure that part out as well. So we need to get comfortable with discomfort. This is what I just said. You need to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, and that's the only way you're going to grow and change. So let's take, for example, the example of meeting new people. Getting into social situations and meeting new people. So say that you're in a social setting and you go up and you introduce yourself to someone and you start a conversation. The moment you get uncomfortable and you want to retreat back to that comfort, so you're carrying on a conversation, all of a sudden you feel uncomfortable, I want you to sit with that just for a moment and realize that yes, you're uncomfortable, but you have to be uncomfortable to grow. And then continue, stay in that setting a little longer than you normally would. So if your first thought is to retreat back to comfort, so I'm talking to someone, I'm feeling uncomfortable, I'm gonna go back to my comfort over here in this group that I know, that I feel comfortable in, stay in that uncomfortable space for a little longer than you normally would. Okay, that is how you start challenging yourself to get comfortable with uncomfortable. So again, for instance, the example of meeting new people, you see a group, you go up and you start talking to them, and all of a sudden you get that feeling like, oh, I'm uncomfortable, I don't belong in this group. Just sit with that for a moment. Stay inside that group. Stay engaged in the conversation for a little longer than you normally would, or that you feel like, oh, I just want to go back and I want to retreat back to my group over here that I know I'm comfortable with. Stay with that group, that uncomfortable group, for just a little longer. And then you can go back to your comfort zone, but allowing yourself to start building up that resiliency and that skill of being comfortable with uncomfortable. So when we start to step outside our comfort zone, a lot of times failure is just part of it. We're not going to knock it out of the park every time. We're not going to succeed every time. That's just failure. Failure is feedback. So instead of looking at it as failure, think of it as feedback. So for instance, I'm gonna go back to our example of meeting new people, establishing new relationships, that fear of that. So now I see a group, I begin to engage with that group. I think that I'm feeling uncomfortable, but I stay within that feeling for a moment, and then something happens and I feel like a failure. So something is said, something is spoken, some actions are taken, whatever happens. Instead of looking at that as failure, like, oh no, I just blew it, right? Think of it as feedback. So whatever has happened, take that feedback and turn it around. So maybe you're in the group and you're conversing and you say something that you think is a big deal, and probably really it's not. Instead of thinking, oh no, I blew it, just continue on with the conversation. Try to learn from that example, and stay in that group, stay in that group setting, and begin to learn and grow and meet new people in that setting, even though you may think it's a failure. And we all know many successful people all fail. We all fail. I failed at so many things in my life, it's hard to keep count. Most people fail more times than they succeed. Always know that. And when you step outside that comfort zone, when you begin to improve your life, failure is just part of it. You have to get used to that failure and sitting with that feeling of failure, which is not really failure, it's feedback. So no, everyone fails, and everyone fails more times than they succeed. And that's how success happens. Take baby steps when stepping outside your comfort zone. You don't have to do it all at once. Take baby steps. Begin to build that resiliency. Begin to build those muscles, the muscles of allowing yourself to step outside your comfort zone. For example, if your goal is to do public speaking, which is a fear of most of us, and that is your goal, don't schedule a TED Talk. Don't do a talk in front of hundreds or thousands of people your first time. Start with friends, family. Start with small groups. Begin there. Start with just 4 or 5 people and grow from that point. Baby steps. You don't have to do it all at once. And sometimes if you do it all at once, you retreat right back to your comfort zone because that was way too scary, that was way too much, and that was way too much feedback. So think about how you can step outside your comfort zone and take baby steps in order to achieve that. Hang out with different people. And, that goes back to my setting of you want to meet new people, but then you're afraid to meet new people, but you need to hang out with new people. So hang out with risk takers. Hang out with new people. Hang out with people who challenge you, who inspire you, who encourage you to be better, who help you step outside of that comfort zone and be okay with that. Those people are the people you need to hang out with. There is no substitute for hanging out with the right people. And this will help you start stimulating the growth within yourself and help you achieve those goals outside that comfort zone because you're hanging out with new people and you're allowing yourself to grow. Be honest with yourself when you're trying to make excuses. Now, we all make excuses. Everyone does it every day. But if we're honest with ourselves and you're wanting to do something and you say, oh, I just don't have time to do that right now. Or I can't do that because I don't have the money. Or I can't do that because I don't have the time. Or I can't do that because I'm a mother. Or I can't do that because I'm a wife. Or I can't do that, whatever those excuses are. Look at those excuses and be honest and say, really, I am afraid to do this because. So be honest with yourself when you hear yourself, when you find yourself beginning to make excuses for why you're not doing those things you need to do that just are outside the comfort zone. And remember, just outside the comfort zone is when the real magic happens. Identify how stepping outside that comfort zone into the new you will benefit you. How is that going to benefit you? So if your goal is to do public speaking, how is that going to benefit you? Is that going to benefit you in your business? Is that going to benefit you in your professional growth, in your personal growth? Is it going to help you get your message out to people? If I am afraid of going, to video myself and put it on YouTube, think about how, if I actually go through with that, how that's going to benefit me. And, if I don't put myself out there, if I don't learn to public speak or, start a YouTube channel or do whatever it is that you're afraid of, if I don't do that, what's going to happen? But if I do that, how is that going to benefit me? How is that going to benefit me professionally? How's it going to benefit me personally? How is that going to help me become a better me? Don't take yourself too seriously. And I know we're all pole dancers. We're all pole fitness enthusiasts. So our nature is to really not take ourselves too seriously. And we can learn a lot from what we learn on the pole. But don't take yourself too seriously. Think about, we talked earlier about failure is just part of it. Taking risks, putting yourself out there. Things are going to happen. You're going to be denied. You're going to fail. You're going to have some setbacks. That's all part of it. That's all part of growing. And if you want to stay in your comfort zone and stay in your perfectly little made up bubble that you have for yourself. So things don't happen to you, people don't judge you, you're not failing, you're not feeling uncomfortable. You can stay in that bubble, and that's exactly what you'll get. Everything that you've been getting is what you're gonna get. But in order to grow, in order to step outside that comfort zone, you will feel failure, you will feel discomfort, you will have some failures, you will have some setbacks. That is just part of growth. So know that that's coming. Don't take yourself too seriously. Kind of roll with the punches, roll with the waves. Allow yourself to just kind of roll with it and know that good things are coming your way, and you are growing, and you are achieving, and you are becoming closer to those goals. Finally, focus on the fun. Enjoy the process. Remember, the journey is the most important part. It's not really the destination. Improving your life is so very important, but focus on that journey and focus on the fun and focus on enjoying the process of stepping outside your comfort zone and outside of those safe boundaries, and enjoy the fun of discovering new things about yourself, enjoying new adventures, enjoying the new things in your life that you've allowed yourself to achieve and to experience because you were able to step outside of that comfort zone. So relish in those moments. Take a moment and say, wow, I really did that. And I'm so thankful and grateful that I was able to step outside of my comfort zone and achieve and experience whatever it is that you are experiencing. So if you wanted to travel, say for instance, and you have a fear of flying or a fear of traveling or a fear of doing something new, experiencing new cultures, that's a fear of yours, but you want to do it. Once you actually achieve that and you allow yourself to step outside that comfort zone and step into a new culture or new adventures, take a moment to really feel what that feels like. Oh my goodness, that feels so good. I actually accomplished that, and I'm so grateful and thankful that I did that. So take a moment, focus on the fun, focus on being grateful for what you were able to achieve in stepping outside that comfort zone. Homework, finally your homework. So I want you to think about 3 areas of your life: personal, professional, and pull, the 3 Ps, personal, professional, and pull, and write down 3 areas or 3 things, I guess, that you would like to achieve, but you're not doing it because of fear or because it's outside your comfort zone. It's just right over there and you're not willing yet to take the steps to go right over there. So 3 areas: personal, professional, and pull. Write down 3 things that you would like to achieve, but you're not yet doing. And then take us through how you're working through that and how you're able to begin to either work towards that on making those changes that you need to make in order to achieve those goals set forth. And if it's pull related, show us what you are afraid of doing on the pull, and then now you're overcoming that and you're doing it. Same with your personal and professional. So personal, professional, and pull, 3 things that you want to change that are just outside the comfort zone, but you have not yet done it. And let's do it and record how we are doing in stepping outside that comfort zone and onto the pole. Because remember, just outside that comfort zone is where all the magic happens.